Hello everyone, this is Cookies, and I guess, so I'm gonna go ahead and do turn 96. I just finished recording turn 95, and I was kind of thinking, I haven't really gone over, I was chatting with the Shinuyama player a little bit about global meta, and we're kind of chatting, it was like, maybe I overplayed my hand, where if I had just put up Utter Dark and then launched my offensive, other people would have been hesitant, I think, to do an astral disruption for just one global, but because I did two such high overcasts, it made a lot more sense because, you had enchanted forests, and so there was a lot more movement. And so what I could have done is just put up Utter Dark and then save the enchanted forest cast for the disruption, so I could be putting that up now. Maybe save and then keep saving glamour gems. And then if they tried to dispel enchanted forests, then I could try to, maybe do the next one. But also, if it's just one global, I think there's also a lot more incentive to try and overcast that global. Now, as long as it's not an astral global, it's a lot more inefficient to get the correct gem type to be able to overcast something, especially when it's that large of a cast. So that might have taken longer. But I'm not sure what I what I would do if, like, say, Nidavellir cast Enchanted Forest. Like, that would be really difficult for me to deal with. So it's, I don't know, it's a little bit of a balancing act. And part of that new meta that he also chided me a little bit for was not putting up Astral Decree, but my Astral income's been kind of shit all game, so I think that's excusable. But Arcane Decree is this new global that weakens overcasts and dispels. So if you want to control all the globals, you have a strong incentive of putting up a large decree cast. And what that decree cast will do is protect all your other globals. So then you can start kind of owning the global list with impunity. But you do have to put a fair bit of astral into it. Probably, I think 600 pearls, or a 600 overcast of pearls is probably pretty good. Because then I think that weakens new dispels and globals by 300. And so then if I put up a 1000 cast of Utter Dark, then they have to go fight and dispel Decree before they can, which, with the weakening means they have to do, I think, a 900 plus cast against Decree in pearls. And then they can go target Utter Dark. And so it would be a lot more expensive and it would take longer. But again, I just did not have the pearls this game. All right, so we do see a lot of dire portents go up. And then we also cast some spells. So let's go ahead and take a look at the globals. So this is our global list. So it is indeed Shinuyama that puts up Purgatory this time. They also put up Haunted Forest because they wanted to troll me with mannequins. Rude, I must say. We do get up Dreams of the Awakening God. They get up Nexus, and then Galegate and Pyre. Now, the first turn, which is when all these globals go up, Nexus does not get the income from having it put up. So if you wanted to get the rebate for putting up Nexus, you would have had to wait a turn and put up all those other gem gens as well. But there is... I guess I'm going to have to figure out what I want to do about this. Now, going out to the turn. This is not my current turn. I am one turn off from the current turn. So let's go ahead and go through the battles. I'd like to do this one in one episode, both this turn and next turn, because I've been spending a lot of time thinking about this one. And the colored squares are not helping here. Shinuyama is the same colored square as Independence. But we cause a little bit of attrition here. You can see some of the mannequins that came out from Haunted Forest. But this bounces. We only kill 16 Daibakemono. Probably not worth 5 death gems. And then we do another attack here. Now this is worth it because it gem baits the Firestorm cast. And this, I believe this game is not using the monthly gem burn mod. So it is possible to gem bait this. And then we get hit with flames from the sky. But not on a province that I particularly cared about. So we do lose a carrying commander. We have some stuff stranded, but I'm okay with this outcome. All right, and then so we have just a tremendous number of raids. Let me see, is this... All right, so this is the one where we baited out the Firestorm, and then we followed up with our army. And so you can see that this guy does not have his fire gems anymore. And we do put up Howl. Now the risk here is I have 2 large thugs that would love to get disintegrated, apparently. So we do have to watch out a bit for that. We have stacked a little bit of MR gear on them. And here come the disintegrates. And they wake up just in time, which is kind of frustrating because I wanted to kill those too. They're extremely expensive mages, even if they are recruit everywhere for Shinuyama. Or recruit any for it. And Zux, that's just Nidavellir retaking some stuff. We bounce off PD here. I'm not going to go through and watch all these. Let's see. Bounce off. No, we barely win this one. Yep, we go ahead and clear out the Shootin' Doji. It would just take forever. I'm trying to run this series a little bit faster. So in Erd, we've got Nabaz's other Phoenix Pyre Golem, so it's just going to go through and kill all this stuff. So you can see how fast it melts. The mannequins kill themselves on the fire shield. And then in Faircliff, Lupia, we barely win again. You can see we lost most of the mannequins. Launch another raid here. We do lose a fair amount of stuff. I mean, it's a huge PD dump. Or, I don't know if it's huge. I don't know how many goblins you get for a point of fort PD, but I mean, we lose a fair amount of stuff, including 3 sacreds on it. Then in Snowford, Green Coast. Oh, that was the one we just looked at. So scrolling through some of these. And then we have 2 Fort Storms. So we have Uric Balcor. As we try to put Calum out of the game. And as you can see, the so trying to push through here. We lose a little bit of stuff, but generally it's pretty easy. There's nothing home. And then for Calum, we've rolled in a bunch of carrion behemoths. So there's a number of these temple guard here. There's this hero who's got a charcoal shield. So that potentially could have been on the pretender. But I mean, all of that is like 2020 hindsight stuff of stuff maybe you could try. Maybe it would help. But let's go ahead and see how these carrion behemoths go. So we get Frostflesh Army. Not only that's a big problem for Calum is the gate guard just goes in, it does like hold and attack rear. So we're getting a nearly free pass through the gate. Now, because these are the sacreds, and they're not even... I don't know if the bless was worth anything, but because they're sacreds, we get our unholy weapons on them, and you can see how fast they melt the carrion furies. So go ahead and speed this up a bit. Okay. And so that one also goes well. I mean, we lose a little bit of stuff. We lose 6 carrion behemoths. That's fine, honestly. They're getting to be too low MR to be used in major armies. Although smaller armies like this, they can still be used. It's not as likely that we're going to run into Master and Slave. And there's not a lot of chassis that can. Shinuyama's Pretender and Nidavinger's Pretender can. Nidavinger can also do communions to do so. And I don't know if they found astral mages. I'm pretty sure Nidavinger has. So it is something we'll have to watch out for with Nidavinger. But when it comes to a lot of the fights that we're fighting at the moment, I don't think it's a huge concern. I don't know that Nabah has the research or has gone for Master and Slave to use with Mukarib. So, I mean, there's still places where we can use them. We can use them in the raiding game too, especially in smaller groups. But yeah, so we eliminate that. We get butchered by Purgatory, so we lose 583 units, which is pretty significant. We get rocked by hurricanes. Some trolls steal our gold. We're just now getting gold, so it's like, come on. And then we patrol out a couple of scouts. And we breach Moosebowl. Alright, and we get a terrain change. So this, I think, went from a wasteland to a farmland. Is that what it did? Yeah. Or maybe it just became like a plains into a farmland. Because there's order scales here, and it's less likely to go into a forest, I think. So, alright. This Purgatory on Shinuyama makes things more complicated. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on low dominion Shinuyama provinces. And we're going to use higher HP troops when we can. Now, a lot of this stuff So some of this stuff is 15 HP. And it does 18 armor piercing fire damage. So generally, if I can use stuff that's at least 20 HP, we're going to be a little bit more in the clear. Mannequins might just die, but we also have to be a little bit conscious of the MR frontage that we're putting up in terms of master and slave. We don't want to lose an army to our own stuff. So carrion horses are great. Carrion bears are great, except for their low MR, so they get kind of front deployed and pushed into the fighting faster. At least where I can. And then, yeah, and then Sacreds are pretty good. They've got 14 MR. Yeah, should generally be in a better spot. We would lose some of them, but hopefully not enough that we lose the battle. Kind of depends. But yeah, that's how we're kind of re-coordinating things. You can see how much this army got massacred. So we're down to 71 troops, and it looks like I'm going to forget some. Oh, I'm purposefully leaving some to keep the fort locked down. But we've got 71, but after the battle, we still had like 150, so maybe half of them died, which is pretty sad. Or half of the remainder died. But otherwise, we're just going to redirect onto Nabha. So we're going to press ahead with the offensive against Nabha. We've got new group. We've still got an influx of new raiding groups coming out of the fortresses. So there's still forward pressure being applied. I want to get on Golem range because getting down into this fort would threaten this cave from Shinuyama. So let's go ahead and get a move on there. And then we're trying to get a push across here. There's I guess a skull temple here. There's all sorts of interesting sites that never really got used. We're also going to magic phase on this golem. I guess that's an op we can talk about. So we're going to, I think this is getting supported by a Call of the Winds, but we've got a golem here. Again, with a Star of Darkness and Axe of Hate, Boots of Quickness for 14 combat speed, Storm Armor for shock res, and then Amulet of Anti-Magic to get through the Astral Shield. And this guy is kitted basically to kill the other golem. And then we're rerouting new stuff out of the caves into Summerlands. Now that some of our production has moved down here, we can start, rather than marching it all the way from Yieldmire all the way down here, we can march it directly out of the caves into Summerland and provide a lot of new pressure in this area, which is great. We're also going to spend a lot of money on infrastructure. So 3,000 on new buildings, particularly temples. I want to boost my dominion, especially in the Kalem region. And not all of these forts are forests, but we gotta get temples where we can, and ideally they're protected so they don't get just raided by a random thug and destroyed. And then we're generally bombarding Shinuyama with Ghost Riders still, including we've got a couple targeted down here. The lines don't really show well through the caves, through the cave barrier thing, but we're going to start trying to target these unforted temples down here in this cave as well. But yeah, and then we're going to storm Kalem and try to knock out that player. And then that we're just down to 3 players that we have to try and fend off. Hopefully we can keep overrunning Nabha. We'll see what kind of resistance gets put up. We're moving an army onto Strongdale. Storming Strongdale should give us a base of operations to attack Snowford from, which is a throne. We are at 5 thrones. We need 2 more to win. So Snowford is in our sights, as is Undrase. Other thrones in our sights is Old Land. You can kind of see the chair behind it. Old Man Mountains and Shambolic if we keep making good progress through Nabaz land. These three provinces don't have connections, but they are now revealed to us on the map. So I guess it's some sort of map bug that they didn't have connections. But it's revealed to us because Dreams of the Awakening God put a candle there, because I guess they're technically provinces. So we do get a little bit of vision here now, fills in the map. But yeah, there's no connections here, so we do have to go around to get, we have to go through Nabaz Heartland to get to Shambolic. We can't really go around, and then we'll probably have to contest with Nidavellir over it. Okay. In terms of what we're forging this turn, we're getting a little bit of stuff. But generally trying not to feed Nexus too much. Although other people are probably feeding Nexus, but we are going to do an arcane analysis, which does not feed Nexus. And we're going to find out how strong the Purgatory cast is, because if I do an Astral Disruption, even if it doesn't get Nexus, I want it to get Purgatory so we can continue our attacks. All right. And then I think that's most of it. We'll see. But I do want to get into my current turn. We're already at 20 minutes. Okay, so I've got the next turn up, and this is my current turn. So we did more illusory attacks, more Ghost Riders. Let's go ahead and see our Golem raid. So we did do Call of the Winds. We've got our Golem here. Now, Call of the Winds is to hopefully disrupt his script, but instead they go on this stuff. But I guess it's useful for clearing PD too. But he does get all of his script off. And he started killing the birds. He is at around 40 fatigue. Thankfully, with the Boots of Quickness, we get in there pretty quick. We're not gonna... The birds have already routed. But they helped just enough, I think. So we're starting to fatigue this guy out. He does have... Now, he doesn't have any attack boosting gear, so he's only got 10 attack. But, you know, neither do we. We've got 12 attack and 10 attack. That said, we're getting very close to fatiguing him out. And there it is. So now we just have to finish the job. And there we go. We've killed the other Phoenix Pyre Golem. Our illusory attack bounces. I didn't know that came with 2 commanders now, so that's good to know. But otherwise, some of these raids go decently well. Yeah, we even win against this, and this is cave PD, so if we jump into the caves really quick. Yeah, so we bounce in deep mount. But I think we won here. And we won here. Which I believe cleared a couple of the temples, so now we need to get the other 2. And there's probably temples here as well. Let's see, we get counter-rated a little bit. Anything with a Bakemono Sorcerer probably has Firestorm. I don't think we need to go check each one. Oh, we do kill a bunch of Long Dead, which is kind of neat. So we do have some parties of Wyverns running around. It's been a really nice wrinkle. I'm glad I threw in. Oh, Haunted Woods, I guess, turns his living troops that die into mannequins. Oh. Okay, that's pretty cool. Well, you get like a second use out of them. It's almost like a free life after death, except with mannequin form. Okay. So that was here. So we clear out this long dead raid. We do have a battle in Spring Spire, so let's go ahead and check this out. So back here we've got a Malika and a whole host of little mages. And it's not our biggest raiding group, but we do have 2 batches of Sacreds, and we've got a Thug. So first we have to work our way through the Hin. The Hin, Hermits here have a really cool thing where they start each battle with a Hin. So if you have enough Hermits here in your army, you get a free little squad of those guys running out. They're, I think, a pretty decent summon. They have Ethereal, so for a Naba early game, if you commit to Hermit Seer and Mukareb, then the Mukareb can cast Body Ethereal in your first war for getting through fort walls, and the Hermit Seer can provide Hin that can also help clear fort walls, and that can help you get through a gate and into an enemy's backlines. So I like both units for a first war on Naba. So here we can see a bunch of chaff. Now, Undead have a lot of poison resist. So with these flame poison bites, I think both resists work against the damage, I think is how it works. So we're pretty resistant. I don't know if it applies one and then the other, or if it just picks one at random and applies that. Or if it just picks the highest. But the Malika does get away, which is frustrating, and they kill my Bane Thug, which is also sad. So that's here. They do kill the Bane. He scores 12 kills, and 5 of my Carrion Furies. But we do score 7, like, lesser mage kills. Alright, then in Brightlands, Naba, we clear off the PD again. A little bit of counter raiding from Shinuyama, and then we storm Moose Bowl. So this is Calum's last fort. Just another mage ball back here. Not much for him to do, I don't think. Some of the troops just throw themselves into my army. I don't think we have any decent spells going up to help this fort storming. We're just relying on numbers and hoping it's empty enough. The ice strikes continue to do a lot of damage. As we score kills, though, we get carrion ogres, and the ogres are helping us break through the gate. And then the mages flee, and we take the fort. Okay. So we gain 13 carrion ogres, which is great. It's high MR stuff. Really like that troop, especially in the late game. So it's a great set of kills. And we finish off Calum. So good game, Castronomical. Really enjoyed playing with you, especially when we got to work together to try and defeat Scaleria. It's been a while. Alright, but yeah. We take significantly less damage from Purgatory this turn. We still get hit by a few hurricanes and some other stuff. But, I mean, we're making gold, because just like everyone else. So that's nice. Alright. In fact, we're up to 6,000 income, because we've got all this new land that we haven't pop killed yet. We're also continuing to push all right, so this is my current turn. So the plan is we're going to continue pushing into Naba. We want to start getting connecting borders with Shambolic. I don't know. I forget if this was Naba or not, or if this was Nidavellir, but it's independent at the moment. So I'm just going to move into it. We'll see what happens. And then otherwise, we're going to keep heading up. We're going to try to establish a border with Shambolic. We're going to storm Strongdale. And then one of the things I'm considering doing is waiting a turn to attack Undrase and maybe just raiding it again this turn. Because what I want to do is I want to put fort storming armies on multiple thrones all at the same time. Because that puts pressure on Nidavengir's Pretender because he can only show up at one spot at a time. And particularly, now they can coordinate a little bit. So like if he jumps on the Shinuyama fort and Shinuyama sallies, as long as Nidavellir has a couple of pearls or a clam of pearls, he would need an arcane lens, I believe, to get to this province. So it'd be an arcane lens and a clam of pearls to guarantee he had a couple of pearls to get out of there in terms of returning. It could put some pressure on in terms of maybe we can win the game. But we'd have to get sieging armies bordering ideally all four of these thrones at the same time, and then we move on to all four of them at once together. And maybe that would be enough. Because if we take these fights in sequence, it could be pretty difficult. Also, we're eating purgatory if we do this. I have a suspicion that they're going to overcast Dreams of the Awakening God this turn. So if I wait one turn and then do Astral Disruption, and hopefully I get everything next turn, then I can think about moving on Undrase together. So what I wonder if I should do is maybe... Now, the issue with waiting a turn as well, and we can see it with these flame spirits that have moved up here, because I believe his intention is to bombard me with flames from the sky. Just absolutely melt all my stuff. So... And a less scrupulous player, I think, would probably set up a number of independent attacks on this province to hit these flame spirits and try to kill them, but I'll abide by the nap. So that could be an issue. We could eat as many as like 4 flames from the sky. So one thing that would be great to forge would be this thing, but it already exists, which is frustrating. Oh, so I'm wondering if I even want to concentrate on Andraste to this degree. Because I do, this is, the stuff I'm moving here is most of the stuff that would have some shot of surviving flames from the sky. The other thing I want to test is if Nidavellir did flames from the sky on Undrase, would it even attack me? Because I ran into a situation in my Disciples game where I casted a bunch, but it targeted the province owner rather than the largest army. So that could be interesting as well. So I've been thinking about that. And then we're going to do a random little side raid. This is stuff that can generally survive purgatory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it's pretty easy to get. Was a Staff of Flame focus. And then he can Flames from the Sky help Athria. So he's definitely intending to just Flames from the Sky everything I do. So part of me wants to upend this global thing already, because we're talking 20, what is this, 20, 40, 40 gems plus Nexus every single turn, which is a lot of crap, to be honest. But I still think waiting until next turn might be the right call. We'll see. But yeah, this is going to be a withering attack. There's probably a high chance that he's able to take these thrones with enough Flames from the Sky. That said, yeah, I think even these guys would die to like 4 Flames from the Sky hits. So I don't know. Maybe like this might be game losing, not attacking this and even nap breaking to attack this. I really should send all sorts of stuff I have to try and kill this, and maybe put like Titan's Breath under siege or something to block it in the magic phase to prevent this stuff from getting to a lab. I could earth attack them. There's probably a lot of commanders in here, so it's going to be hard for me to... I don't have a lot of assassins, so it's going to be hard for me to try and assassinate that stuff. Something I could do... Now, this lady would not be good, I don't think, at killing... Yeah, she's not really built for killing a flame spirit. Although Frozen Heart would go a long way. So I could send her, but it's... Why can't you get there? I guess she has to go around the river. I think there's a river right there. So it's probably better that she just goes here. So yeah, this would be a very rich targeting environment. Something I could do that would be easier is I could move a much smaller army onto Andraste. Maybe with less quality stuff, and I could cast my big Astral Disruption this turn. It would use pretty much all of my gems. And if he overcasts Dreams of the Awakening God, there's a chance... Because I think I cast it with like 240 something. And I believe... Yeah, so its base costs 90, so I think the overcast is maybe like 150. So he might not go too far above. But if I wait one more turn and I collect a bunch more gem income, I think I could do... Is it 93 plus 22? Was that 95 plus 20? 105, 115 divided by 2 is like, let's call that 60. Or no, not quite that much. Let's call that like 55. So I might want to spend some. Plus 22 plus 9 plus, let's call that like 110 water. So like 55. It's 20 for Earth, plus 13 for the Earth income, plus 77 pearls. Let's say I spend all my nature and death again. Then we have maybe like 44 glamour. If I wait until next turn, I can do an astral disruption of 295, which I think would kill up to an overcast of 230, which I think would get most stuff. Because I don't think he'll overdo the overcast of dreams. So I do think I want to wait, but maybe I don't want to overcommit. So I think what I could do is I could dome up a little bit. Let's see. I could give this guy a thistle mace. Oh, but I don't have the nature income. Oh, well, I can pull it off of him. Let's see. So we can throw up a forest stone here, and that should block at least one of them. And then what we do is we gather the army. Let's see. I don't know what I do with you here. You can just stay there. Or at least most of the army. Okay, maybe this is enough. And we could potentially put up a frost stone next turn. But that could protect us from one flames from the sky next turn, at least for our consolidated forces. Another option would be keeping our forces split up a little bit. So maybe this guy site searches. But I do want to move. Who is moving it? Oh, the birds. They might not see this. They might have it scribed, but they also might not see this. And so if they have to spread it out, maybe I don't lose all my stuff to it. Just force them to spend a lot of fire gems all over the place. Maybe we can survive some of these hits. I don't know. It's going to be a bloodbath. Let's see. Now, putting all of that stuff in Undrase, it would focus everything. But it would be a lot of my quality stuff because I'd try to crack the fort and whatnot. Okay, so then we don't want to do crumble then in that case. And we don't want to astral travel just yet. But that was one of the risks, because if I did, because this guy might be insane next turn. So I think what I have to, but astral travel, Okay, so that's 4 away. So if I move here, we should be fine still. Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I move, or if I keep everything in white peaks, and maybe this guy goes here and he can be my backup plan. That guy can pick up new stuff. Okay, maybe this is the little bit safer option. So, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's tough. If Nidavellir had waited one more turn, or if we did anticipate Purgatory, but we hadn't really considered how the HP of our units, because I'm recording like the last few turns today. If I'd realized that a fair number of my carrion have enough HP that they can reliably survive Purgatory, I could have been more aggressive and tried to crack everything last turn. And then storming it this turn would have required a nap break from Nidavellir. And he doesn't seem like the player that would nap break. So that could have been potentially a way to win the game. Like if this army, instead of cracking Strongdale, had cracked Snowford, if it was able to get there, which it might not have been, then we really would have been set up well. But as it stands, I think we're just going to have to keep attacking, and we're going to have to endure a gem economy that is turned against us. I mean, we have a pretty solid income, and we have a lot of stuff, and they're going to have to trade gems to kill that stuff. But it's going to be difficult, I think. But yeah, having this forest dome up this turn, I think will be useful next turn. It should block one flames from the sky at least. And then it burns up, and then we get hit by more. But at least we're a little decentralized as well. We've still got a little bit of a raid. So this guy's got a Demon Bane. But he's going to run out here and try to raid this. I could send him some help, maybe, even if the help gets obliterated. But I think we're going to be losing a lot of stuff to Flames from the Sky. I'm not keen on necessarily losing more of it. I could try to move some stuff into Baptizer, because that can't get Flames from the Sky until it moves out. So it wouldn't get hit in that first round. But, oh, I can't reach. Hopefully I can reliably make it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go here. We've got some stuff patrolling. I think what we want are a few thugs or sacreds patrolling. I think that would be good. Was that 7? Maybe do 7. Elemental Fortitude. Let's say maybe just offset, I guess. Okay. Maybe that'll be enough. I'll just put these guys on attack career, get them in there. Okay. we'll try this for the patrolling group, because, I mean, this one's pretty important, and then this one's also pretty important, but it's already kind of set up. Okay. And then this one, we don't want the birds getting locked down, although if we do Astral Disruption, it'll knock out all the enchantments, and so we won't have to put as large of an army on that fort either. So, but we've got some stuff patrolling here. I think what I'll do is, because he's been sending some scouts in, is I'll rotate. Okay, and we'll see how this does. I should probably change my formation for this. Yeah, they're at least on advancing cast. But I think what I need is, rather than... I'm not doing foul vapors. Oh, I am. Okay. But we do need elemental fortitude. On all of these. Okay. And we probably need it first, honestly, because the foul vapors is coming out later. And then I don't think we have a holy 3 in this crew, so we also need blessings. And we probably want the blessings first, at least one of them. Okay, so maybe something like this. And we can put this in for 4. Because they should bless themselves at least a little bit. And that'll give them some resistance. And then if they do elemental fortitude, they'll be up at 10. And then what I can do on my end is I can double line this. I can nest the mages in. Now he can do fire archers, which would be annoying. We're going to try doing... Okay. But yeah, we'll try this and see if we can storm a fort, kill a temple, and then I believe we're also doing some more Ghost Riders down here, trying to gembait these sorcerers and then also destroying more temples. Let's see what we can do down here. Just continue to put pressure. We'll have to see if we can keep absorbing all these hits. At least our army size graph stayed about even this turn, which is really good. And we'll continue getting an influx of new mannequin production in this area as we hopefully spread our dominion. And then, yeah, we'll see if we alchemize everything next turn. And actually, I should probably do that math again, because... Let's see, so let's call it like 45. So I'll do income and then... Or like, I'll do my gem bank and then the income. So it's 45 plus 11. We're converting to pearls. Plus 9. Plus... Let's just call that 40. And plus 13, which is a little bit less. We'll probably have to spend some water. Plus 30 earth. Plus 13. Plus 81, plus 21. I imagine we are going to have to spend some of this. And then plus 25, plus 15. And so maybe we can do a disruption at 325, which minus 60 would put us at 265, which is a very solid dispel. Another thing we could do So we're moving everything to do like an astral travel shenanigan. And part of that is because we've got a bunch of birds. So I could move the birds onto this guy. And then I could move the tart into the water here. And if I keep a couple of commanders here, even if the tart goes insane, I can at least get this stuff to the objective without spending pearls to get it to the objective, which would be pretty nice. We do miss out on a fleet of wyverns, but it would be really nice. Okay. So I think that's it for this one. Hopefully all of these ramblings showed you about some of all the different concerns that I've had. It's definitely a very tricky war to try and prosecute. When you're fighting literally everyone can magic phase you, everyone can gem burn you. You got to be concerned about all sorts of people interfering, they're planning. It's very difficult to fight the whole lobby. It's very easy to make mistakes. Your mistakes matter a lot more than their mistakes. So, but we do have one thing on our side until they flames from the sky out, which is the army size graph. And so as long as we keep sweeping over territory, that will continue removing resources available to our enemies, and it will add resources to us. So as long as we keep blitzing across Naba, as long as we keep, pressuring Shinuyama, trying to take forts, destroy temples, work down his infrastructure, then I think we'll be at least in a spot where we have a chance to win. And I do think this game was extremely winnable for us, even if we don't end up winning. But this is an extremely entertaining war as well, I think. Getting to fully utilize all of the free spawn on what soon will be a turn 100 Asphodel. Getting to cast some of the big late game spells. Running into a lot of the late game counters. It should be a lot of fun. We're going to have to consider that in future engagements, especially on Undrase, that what potentially is an Astral 8 or Astral 9. Oh gosh. The Nidavellir Pretender, an Idol of Sorcery, I think. Whatever it is. It's the... There, I can show. Give me one sec. So this thing. I believe this is the Pretender that Nidavellir took, and I think he's been wishing for magic power, so it should be like Astral 9 or something. One of the downsides of letting him fight Machaka in peace was Machaka gave him a tremendous amount of loot, an insane amount of loot. And so he doesn't really have to forge anything. So a lot of these wishes for magic power were just his Nidavellir income. So it's going to be extremely tough to deal with. I think it's realistic to just write off whatever army it jumps on. And so that's why we need to go for at least 2 thrones so that we have a chance to gain 2 of them. Hopefully before Nidavellir flames from the skies us into oblivion and pushes onto 2 of our thrones. Or our 2 thrones and obliterates those garrisons with flames from the sky. It's going to be pretty difficult for us to try and hold on. But, I mean, if we do a really big Astral Disruption, I think there's a fair amount of value in that relative to what was put into the globals. Especially if we manage to dispel whatever Dreams of the Awakening God overcast he does. I mean, if we're really lucky, we get one more turn with it, and that'll let us save more gems, potentially, or we can do our own interactions. What might be good is if we throw a bunch of stuff that could be stolen onto that fort to just lure out the pretender. Or maybe has a shot at killing it. I don't know. One of the advantages to putting that Nidavellir fort under siege was we could, because we did roll that Astral 5 Tartarian. Let me go load the game back up. Okay, so because we did roll this Astral 5 Tartarian, we could potentially try to magic duel it. If it's an Astral 8, it's not going to be good odds. We probably just die. But at least there's the threat. Even if we get like 4x flames from the sky on that throne, our army gets destroyed. At least there would be that. Now, what I do think we should do, now, there is a lot of Dominion here. We should go ahead and raid it with a bunch of carrion horses. So support 2 here. I think you can take the sword from this guy, and hopefully we can find another one for him later. So I think what we do is we just get him in there. Okay. And we try to keep this siege up. And then the other piece of that, let's see, what is this whole patrolling force? There's so much stuff in it. Okay, so Philia can probably just preach, or she can lead in some new stuff. Maybe we lead with just a small group of carrion behemoths. Honestly, this guy's little raid. We can probably raid here with him and just make sure this stays under siege and under pressure. Okay. And then I would like to raid Gladewood, but I don't think I have a great group for raiding Gladewood. I could try to raid it with these Mandragoras and do like a Plague Rigor Mortis thing, but that is pretty vulnerable to Firestorm. I could try to rotate something over to go help, but it would have to be a reasonably high HP stuff. So like this Behemoth group could do it, but I want to use that for storming. Maybe RG74 could do it. A lot of the mannequins will die, so we could pull off the mannequins, or we could pull off some of this stuff into this group and send Cavalry 7 to go do it. But then we need to find a little bit tougher commander to lead the effort. So maybe this guy could do it. I mean, there's a fair chance that this guy just dies. he should be able. I think. I think the Purgatory procs after battles. So I think we can go ahead and raid here, and as long as we send another commander, so maybe this guy can go, and then he won't get hit with Purgatory because he's not undead. I don't think I have oh, I do have a Crown of Bones. And then I can fly him a Crown of Bones. All right, and then maybe we can raid Gladewood, because I have a feeling there's some stuff about to head in that general direction, or at least he's raiding around his periphery. So yeah, we're gonna have to keep pressuring him. And then otherwise, we're sending a lot of new stuff into Summerland, so that should have a few hundred units. We could send more. Wait, when these guys. Okay, so this could be like a small little raiding group, I guess, with a few Draconians. Maybe this stuff could just be on attack rear. This is a pretty aggressive posture. Okay, and I'm getting tired of naming these things. So I think Summerlands is, no, this is Griffa. So this would get more stuff into this area too. And with more stuff in Griffa, we can start thinking about trying to pressure this area more. We do have to preach his Dominion out. If he does do Dreams of the Awakening God on us, we're going to lose a lot of candles. But then hopefully we can do a really big Dispel. And maybe we'll see some more gem income and whatnot, although it doesn't seem like it. Actually, we might get no gem income from these two forts. But maybe there's some stuff in this lake, or as we head north up here, maybe we can find some gems. But yeah, the idea is we're going to keep things as decentralized as possible. I don't know that we can withstand these Ninevanger armies backed up with multiple flames from the Skycasters. So we might have to try and spread things out against Ninevanger, which means a big offensive in the Ninevanger region. Just like trying to attack all around here, seeing what we can pressure, maybe get into this lake. He's even got Triton troopers down in here. He's hired the swimming men. I mean, there's some pretty annoying merc companies. The Windlord would be pretty annoying to fight. In fact, I could maybe cancel some recruitment on new commanders if it lets me bid those. If I could find the commander recruitment. They're probably worth 600. I don't know if they're worth 800. So I think we could do like maybe this guy. I don't know. Yeah. Go ahead and get this guy. Actually, it's probably more important that I get some preachers out here. So I think we'll get a Dryad here. A Holy 2 here might be really great too. And then I think what'll happen is he'll min bid, and hopefully we can outbid him, or even if he does a little bit over a min bid, we can bid them right here in this throne. We'll also bid. Oh, wait. And then if we can bid for the... Okay, maybe I do cancel. Probably this one, since we have the throne claimed. And then we can bid this last Merc company. Okay. Actually, the Ferris Wizard is probably... That's not worth a whole lot to me. I can probably just go like 120 for that. I think getting the Sylphs is really good. So we'll bid 300 for them. Skull Smashers is whatever's left. All right. So if we can pick up these three Merc companies here in the Berman Highs, because next turn we can do attack orders with Nidavinger, and that'll let us put out some pressure from this throne, and then hopefully we can just launch a whole bunch of attacks. I think the goal will be to spread them out. So we'll probably be pulling back from this region. Which, you know, I guess we're definitely gonna get flames from the sky. The question is how badly. And there's probably some work we can do to make ourselves less tempting. So the first thing that we could do in terms of like these thrones getting flames from the sky would be putting pressure on Undrase. The other thing we can do is we can run a bunch of stuff underground so it doesn't get hit. And then we can run it back up. But that'll take more scripting, so I think I might do that off screen and cut this episode since it's well over an hour. But hopefully it gives an idea into all the crap I'm having to deal with. Hopefully it's not too rambly, because I have been trying to keep this series moving faster. But Flames from the Sky is definitely an issue. So is Arcane Domination. So is... I mean, there's a lot of stuff that kills Asphodel. So I think our advantage is our numbers, and we have to spread everything out as much as we can, and then we can apply pressure over a lot of territory. So even if he takes this fort complex, maybe we could take a lot of this because he's, fighting in this area. We can try to degrade those forces. We can try to start putting pressure on this front. So we'll just have to see what we can do. It would be helpful if we could get some new raiding groups up into Swamp of Forgetting, Scarce Hope Wastelands. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. Yeah, see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.